Welcome, Akwaba Wezo, to Cook Africa today, where every plate tells its story. So today we are going to bring you a traditional dish, one of my favorites, which is MPOTOMPOTO. So don't go anywhere. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest and then we start cooking. Thank you for staying, and thank you very much for deciding to spend your Saturday afternoon with me and the crew. We don't take it for granted. Before the break, I told you we were going to do MPOTOMPOTO, which is normally done by some people with yam, but this time around we are going to do it with cocoyam. It's none of my business. My guest will come in and take us through, but this show wouldn't have been possible without the beautiful people at Gino. The show is brought to you by Gino, and as you can see, we are stocked up. And let me let you in on a little secret. Now, food lovers, let me let you in on a little kitchen secret. You know, one of the ingredients that can make your stews and soups taste great, if you get Gino tomato mix, you are right. It is thick, it is red, it is rich, just the way you like it. Gino mix is your go-to for the unique blend of tomato concentrate, fiber, and essential vitamins that will make every meal pop with flavor and colors. And guess what? It is enriched with vitamin A, vitamin D3, I'm not done, fiber and zinc, treating every family to tasty and delicious meals. So with Gino tomato mix, you can never go wrong. It gives your meals that deep red appeal, rich texture, and mouth-watering goodness every single time. So go on, make your next meal unforgettable with a thick, red, rich Gino tomato mix, because Gino, we say, truly cares, and this advert is approved by the FDA. So don't ever say I didn't do anything for you. I put you on something good, which is Gino tomato mix. That being said, enough of the talking. Let me introduce you to my guest. This woman, I work in the same establishment with her, and I think we have a great relationship, but then this opportunity, I don't take it for granted. She's going to cook for me, and I also get to know her more. So please, let's welcome Adjoa Nhyira. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this. As I said behind the scenes before we began shooting, I'm looking forward to this episode, not because of the food, even though I'm a certified foodie. I'm looking forward to the conversations we are going to have, because again, behind the scenes, we have a lot of conversations. Your portfolio range very fast, from promoting culture, women and children. You've dabbled into politics, you've dabbled into health. And so today's conversation is going to be an interesting one. Just as the Nigerians say, the food is sweet, but the gist is sweeter. So we are going to have a mixture of both, and we are going to have fun. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this. So let me fix you up. I think this is it. This is for you. And this is for, yeah, this is for you. And then, do you need help with the back? And then this is mine. Oh my God. Yeah, sure. Please help me with this. Thank you. I think with my introduction, I got a little bit excited and I let out what we are going to cook. But then I don't think I would have done it justice like the way you do it. So take us through the ingredients.
Okay. So thank you, and thank you to your audience. Today we are cooking a food that, when you come to the Ghanaian tradition, is very common. The Gans call it MPOTOMPOTO. The Fantis call it MPOTOMPOTO. Then the Akans call it POTOMPOTO. Then when you go to Akans in the up on the mountain, like the Dewu, the Kwans, and those on the mountain, they call this food impi. We have various ways of preparing it. There's a way the Fantis and the Gans and the Akans prepare it, and there's a way the people on the mountain also prepare it. Some prepare it pouring the soup on it aside.
Yeah.
But the general one that we know is you prepare it generally with everything, including the soup. So today we are doing the one that includes the soup and not pouring the soup aside like our brothers and sisters up on the hills.
Right. I've also heard nyoma. Is it the same
Yes,
thing?
it's the same food that they call nyoma. This is the people, the Ekuapins, that is how they call it.
Okay.
But when they are preparing it, they have a way of pouring the water on the side like a soup aside. So when they dish out the food, they put some of the soup on it as well.
Right, right. So let's get into it, the ingredients.
So today we are using like cocoyam, like we said. We need herrings, we need salted tilapia,
Yeah.
we call it kobe. We need a bit of this momone.
Yeah.
In our tradition, Fancies call it otsugu because we know it has some nice flavor. We're going to use here, we are adding beef. And as usual, we need tomato, onions, and pepper.
Right.
And we cannot have mpotompoto done without palm oil.
Right, right. And you know what's interesting? When it comes to the food world, everybody thinks they are ahead, but then our culture has been doing it before them. Before the conversation about umamis and MSGs came up, we're already killing it with the momone,
Exactly.
beef, and the cured tilapia. So,
And interestingly, this food can be eaten in the morning, it can be eaten for lunch, it can be used for dinner. It is not too heavy and it is not too light.
personally, that's a comfort food for me during the cold, rainy season because I like the way it can retain heat for a long time. It doesn't get cold. But then I usually do it with yam. So I'm looking forward to this. And most of the ingredients here are new to me. So I'm excited, I'm giddy. Let's start cooking.
Okay, so can we have some water
Yeah, sure.
to wash our hands? And sometimes people wonder why when we come to the kitchen we tie our hair.
Yeah.
You know, in the olden days, our mothers never went to the kitchen without covering their hair because we believe that the hair can just move out without somebody moving it. So that is why we tie our hair.
Right.
And so we're going to start with, can I have a knife?
Knife. Here. And I think you need a chopping board too, right?
You see, this present day and age, everything is modernized.
You're right.
But in the olden days, you take the cocoyam like this,
Right.
and this is how you peel it.
Right.
You see how you peel it? So you have to peel it like this. And I'll teach you the olden way of doing it. Those times we were not using chopping boards.
Oh,
We were
okay.
using our raw hands to chop
Interestingly, I can't
the,
get anything done without chopping board.
So you are going to do the chopping board because I'm teaching you how to do it.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the local way so people can learn.
Right.
That's how our mothers used to do it. Can I have the saucepan?
Saucepan, big or small? Medium.
Medium will do. So when you peel it like this, you go this way. After you have peeled, we chop it like this. See the way I'm chopping it?
Yeah, so there's no measurements.
No measurements. Some are very small, some are a bit big.
Yeah.
And when you do it this way, it cooks very fast.
Okay.
So you chop it like this.
Right.
So let me get these ones to help chop it. So you realize that there's no measurement to it.
Yeah.
There's no measurement.
Talking about no measurements to the way you cook. In recent times, people be talking about recipe. What's the recipe? What's the recipe? What's your thoughts on that?
You see, if you learned cooking from your grandmother, you don't think about recipe because everybody can create a recipe for herself.
Yeah.
It depends on the way you want to have it done.
Yeah.
You see, somebody will also want to put it in a chopping board and be chopping like this.
That's my way.
That's your way. But this is not, but you realize that this looks a bit different from what I have done because you end up chopping it in sizes, right?
Yeah.
But, and looking at this and comparing it to this, which one looks better? You realize that
I want to say your own, but then it doesn't put me in a good light, so I'll say chopping board.
you take chopping board, I know. So,
but let's go a little bit to who Adjoa Nhyira is, because as I said, we work in the same establishment. Arguably, you are one of the queens of the airwaves. Whoever
really?
wants to argue with me, I beg, go and argue with yourself in the house. But I think you do very well when you are on the airwaves. And I believe that we should be giving flowers to people who deserve the flowers.
Thank you for the compliment.
You are welcome. But before we get into your portfolio, let me just bring it. Let me start from the beginning. At what point did you decide to go into media?
Well, I was not... Actually, people advised me to get into the media.
Right.
And I can say that I think the advice has gone a long way to help.
Right.
Because they felt I had something that was unique,
right,
that I could do the media with.
Right.
So I was a very good interpreter, interpreting in various languages.
Right.
So they encouraged me to get into the media when Despite Media started.
Okay.
You know, they were one of the media houses that was doing solid local language.
Yeah.
So once we have this,
yeah,
we are not done. We are going to put onion.
Right.
We are going to add some pepper.
Right.
And you know, we put in all this at a go to cook.
Right.
So we'll add a bit of tomato. Then can I have the... Yeah. So when you're preparing, you put everything in at a go. So can I have the knife so that I can peel this? You know, there's a way of peeling this. I know you've done the scaling already, but I need to remove these things from the side. It is done this way. I don't know how people do it. We are just going to use one.
Okay.
So we'll take these scales off, and all these things, we are taking them out. So per the advice, I felt I had what it takes. And I want to give credit to Sammy Flex.
Okay.
Because he was one of my lectures. Actually, he encouraged me to get in.
Flex?
Yes, of Flex newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah, he taught me in one of these media schools that I attended. So he encouraged me to get into politics.
Is it the Shatawale's manager, Sammy Flex?
Yes.
Okay.
So he encouraged me to get into politics. And he, with no apparent reason, I was always using Adjoa for my practicals. So I realized that after that, it became a name that I adopted.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of practicals with Adjoa Nhyira.
Okay.
So he realized that I was good in the local language. So I decided to adopt that name. Adjoa is my name.
Yeah.
And Nhyira is because my Christian name is Benedicta.
Okay. Which
And
means?
Benedicta is Nhyira.
Okay.
So I decided to adopt the name Adjoa Nhyira. And Pakwesi Akom of TV3, he's currently with Multimedia. And he, realizing the things I do, decided to give me a name.
Right.
Amamre Hima.
Okay.
So my screen name actually is Amamre Hima Adjoa Nhyira.
It all comes together beautifully.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in media?
Can I remember? Since when did we start?
Flags.
Since when did we start Great FM?
Wow.
I started with Great FM.
Right.
I was with Sky Digital TV. I was basically the face of Sky One.
Okay.
I was doing, it was the first digital TV station in Ghana, owned by Wilson Arthur. So I was basically the face of Sky One. From Sky, I went to Pink FM, came to Multimedia, I worked with multimedia closely to 10 years.
Okay.
I worked with Atinka FM. I was part of the founding members of Atinka FM. I worked on Asempa, Plus FM, then currently with Ignite Media.
Right. So, as I mentioned during your introduction,
so we are adding a bit of this as well.
Okay, so that's the more money.
Yeah.
What goes into more money? Because there's this debate about it's cured shark. Some say it's cured whale.
Ghanaians, we are always having problems with anything that is ours.
Yeah.
If it was coming from the West, we would have embraced it nicely. But because it's ours, we always have things to talk about.
Yeah.
So we don't appreciate what is ours. We only appreciate what belongs to the whites.
Right.
If it was cube, nobody will comment about it.
Yeah.
But because it's ours, they think that is not healthy.
Is that to say that the debate is not necessary?
No.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
So, back to the conversation. Because I like gist. Maybe that's why I'm in media. But I like gist, good gist. Your portfolio, as I mentioned earlier, runs from politics to health to relationship to promoting culture. So let's start, I don't know. That's how broad your portfolio is.
So where do you want to start?
Yes. Let's start with your social stories and your love for women, especially women and children.
Let me start with my love for women and children.
Yeah. I've seen you done stories about trafficking. Even I've seen you done stories about women who are stuck in the hospital trying to get aid and all that. But then let's talk about trafficking, because that's what we were talking about before we started the show, about children begging on the street.
No, sometimes is disheartening when you see children on the street begging. In our society, people always believe that when people are poor, they take advantage of them.
Right.
Which is not a good sign.
So right now we are mashing ginger.
Yeah, it's ginger, garlic and onions. Yeah.
On fire, we have the cocoyam, tomatoes, pepper, onions, the beef, herrings, and cured tilapia. As much as I want us to delve into the conversation about the begging, let's take a quick turn. When we come back, then we can start the conversation. Don't go anywhere. Right, thank you very much for staying. Before the break, I was talking to Adjoa Nhyira on her journey to journalism and being a media personality. But don't forget that the show is brought to you by Gino Tomato Mix, as you can see all around. So, Nhyira, before the break, you put the cocoyam and your condiments on fire. You mashed ginger, garlic and onions.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about your take on children begging on the streets.
People always want to take advantage of people when they realize that they are less privileged.
Yeah.
For some time now, we've seen a lot of children on our street begging, especially these Malians and people from Niger with their mothers on the street. And we want our city to be clean. So if we want our city to be clean, why do we encourage these children on our streets?
Right.
We need to find a place for them. Secondly, it tarnishes the image of the country.
Yeah.
So we're speaking against it, that the government has to do something about it. And I ask myself, what is the Ministry of Gender doing about these children on the street? If we want to keep them here, we should find a shelter for them. If we can't keep them here, we need to take them back to their country. But interestingly, this morning, the Ghana Immigration Service has taken onto the streets and they've started gathering these people and taking, I don't know where they are taking them actually.
Exactly what
but
I was about.
I had the opportunity to go there myself. I met some of the immigration officers, spoke to a few of them, made them to understand that there's this perception and allegation that we have people behind it. It's people's businesses.
Yeah.
So they should try as much as possible to fish out those who are using these kits for business and make sure that the law deals with them. And also, they as immigration officers, I believe that these people, they come through our borders.
Right.
So they should do something on our borders. They should make sure that they don't take them there. And when they are coming back, they give the immigration officers on our border post, they give them bribe. Yeah. And they allow them in. They should make sure that they do it and do it well so that we applaud them. So in fact, I was happy when I saw it this morning.
It's interesting that you've mentioned this because you've said a lot in just one presentation. You've spoken about the fact that apart from it being begging, it's a trafficking channel. Yeah. And so the more you give these kids money, the more you are tightening the trafficking chain.
Exactly.
But then you can't also look at these innocent kids and pass by. And so it's neither here nor there. And I agree with you when you say that the government needs to step in. And things have to change. And I also totally agree with the fact that if we want Accra to be one of the cleanest cities, if not the cleanest city in Africa, it goes beyond Zoom Lion cleaning our streets.
And you see, there's this perception that people have. When we talk about cleaning of the city, everybody is mentioning Zoom Lion.
Right.
But we have 10 waste management companies who have also been contracted to help with the cleanliness in the city.
Right.
But it's unfortunate that Zoom Lion has more infrastructure to deal with this menace. So everybody is pointing at Zoom Lion. We shouldn't be. I keep saying on my shows that we should come out with a roadmap. Right. Let us know which people deal with which community so that we can hold them responsible if they are not doing their work. The municipal assemblies, the metropolitan authorities also have a role to play. And they are paid with the taxpayers' money. Yeah. So Ghanaians should go after them and stop going after Zoom Lion as if he's the only person who is supposed to keep our cities clean. So that is by the side. You know, you said I have passion for children.
Yes, and I will come back to the children bit, but then there's something you and I have in common, which is health. Yeah. Because even though your show is on radio, I get to watch it on TV sometimes, and you talk about things that I'm passionate about, which is health negligence. I enjoyed that topic because a day before your show, my friend and I were just talking about negligence when it comes to even women in labor. Some of these women going to the hospital is their first time having babies. You don't expect them to know how it's done. And then things are done like everybody's supposed to know it. And so my friend and I spoke extensively about negligence in the labor ward, negligence when it comes to just the OPD. It looks like recently on TikTok, I got dragged for saying that nursing trainees are just asking for training allowance. And they are not there because they have the empathy for the job. They are there because they are getting paid.
Sometimes you ask yourself, what sort of training are we giving to them? How many people is the government training? And we have a lot of private institutions. Do they have what it takes to train the people? What is the Minister of Health doing about it? I believe it's about time. If we want to fight this menace of health negligence, we need to start from the institutions that train these health personalities. Because I call them Google nurses and Google doctors. You go to the hospital and you tell them what you're going through, and they have to Google and look for
the name.
Oh, yes. And that is what they do. And to me, I think that if somebody is going to work in a facility with certain machines and the person does not have in-depth training with those machines, how does the person work?
Right.
And also, we have neglected our traditions and cultures. That is why we have gotten to this point.
That is the part I've been waiting for, because on your show also, you talk a lot about cultural promotion and you have some spooky stories that I'm not sure I want to talk about, but I really want to hear the gist.
I really want to hear the gist. Because when we were growing, our grandmothers would tell us that when you're pregnant, early morning, you need to wake up around 5:30 and take a shower.
Right. Before we get into that, let me remind you that you're watching Cook Africa, and I'm here with Adjoa Nhyira. I got it right.
You got
Adjoa Nhyira. Today we are cooking MPOTOMPOTO, but not the one you do at home, not with yam. She's doing her own.
No, but the MPOTOMPOTO is not done with
only yam. That's what a lot of
the
people
main
don't know.
MPOTOMPOTO originally that we know is done with cocoyam. Right.
So MPOTOMPOTO with cocoyam, original recipe. And before we got into the conversation, Adjoa Nhyira, I don't want to reduce the title.
Oh, you can reduce it. I'm cool with it.
Adjoa Nhyira cleaned some cocoyam, put it in a pot with tomatoes, onion, cured tilapia, beef, momone, and all that. And so we are just having a conversation on...
Whilst we wait for it.
Yeah. Conversation on the things she does whilst we wait for it.
And you realize that I didn't add salt.
Right.
Because already the beef is salted.
Right.
The tilapia is salted. And the momone is also salted. So I added a bit of shrimp powder. And I have not added salt yet. Right. Because I want it to boil first. Then we'll taste and see. Because sometimes if you want to add salt, you end up having the food being too salty.
Right.
So we've not added salt yet.
Right. And Cook Africa is brought to you by Gino Tomato Mix. If you want to elevate the taste of your meals, if you want to elevate the color of your meals, Gino Tomato Mix is where you should be at. Don't go and buy that one that will change the color of your meat. Don't say I didn't do anything for
like
you.
Food color, right?
Yes. But then you are assured that Gino Tomato Mix is where you have to be, because until I started staying on my own, I didn't know we had any tomato mix. And I'm not even capping. My mom used Gino Tomato Mix for the longest. And so when we are talking about food that knows what they are doing, is Gino Tomato Mix.
I mean, it used to be Gino Tomato Paste.
Yes.
And it was improved.
Yes, yes. So let's go to the spooky stories.
When we were growing up,
yeah.
When you're pregnant, by 4:30, your mother, your grandparents will wake you up, give you a broom to sweep the compound. Sweeping is a form of exercise.
Right.
And they believe that once you're pregnant, there's another human being in your belly. Right. So whilst you're sweeping, the baby starts kicking and gets active. After that, they'll put water. You have to fetch water with a bucket or whatever. Right. Go to the bathroom and take a bath.
Right.
And they believe that after you have swept and you bath, you gain some freshness and it affects the baby in you. And all these things were forms of exercise. Even when you are about nearing childbirth, you realize that when they are pounding fufu, they will ask you to stand on and be pounding. So whilst you're lifting the mortar and pounding, they believe that it's a form of exercise. You're raising your hand, bringing it down. At least the child in you will also be kicking. Right. So that you realize that if the baby is not kicking, they realize that you have a problem. Yeah. But we don't do it. We believe that it's a thing of the past. So the moment we feel a little pain, we rush to the hospital. Right. We feel a little pain, we rush to the hospital. Some even go to the hospital and they decide that they don't want to push for the child to come. So they want the child to be taken through a surgery or whatever.
But before you continue, please listen to her choice of words. She said some people decide. That's not to say that some women don't have genuine issues that deserve CS. She's not undermining CS. She's just saying people take some. So,
and we were doing all these things and it was keeping us healthy.
Yeah.
When you're pregnant, they have foods that they cook for you. They will advise you. You know, in the olden days, when you're pregnant, they will not allow you to leave your hair like this and just be walking around. Today, you go on social media and people are pregnant and almost 9 months, you see them with their bellies on social media displaying whatever is in that womb. In the olden days, they were not like that. So people were not even seeing what, you know, you can, somebody who has eyes can just look at you and know what is in you. Because people don't believe spirituality, they think, oh, it's one of those things. But I tell you, why would somebody see you and target you? You might say you don't have a car. You don't have a property, but somebody just doesn't like you.
Right, right. Before we continue with the conversations, while we wait for the cocoyam and the other condiments to cook, what will we do next when it's ready?
Okay, so when we are done and it's cooked, we are going to take out the onion, the tomato, and the pepper, and we are going to grind it and put it in. So let's see if it's boiled. It's not boiled yet. Let's have it boiled first.
Right. So
then we can you have this washed off?
Sure. Can you use another oil apart from palm oil?
Well, you know, when we are weaning our children, normally we can do it with yam.
Right.
Because yam is softer.
Right.
So we can do with yam and then decide that we will use margarine.
Okay. Never heard of the margarine.
Yeah, you can do margarine if you're doing it for babies or something. You can use margarine.
Right.
If you think the palm oil is too much. And also, you know, in the olden days, we're not using this kind of palm oil.
Right.
When we prepare the palm soup in the house, sometimes they take the palm oil from it and keep it. So when they are preparing this food, they can pour it on. So if they're doing it for children, they might not need to add pepper and all that. They can add a little bit of tomato, a little bit of onion, and just pour on the palm oil from the palm nuts.
Right. So, as the queen of Amamre and all the gist, is there any cultural or historical stories about MPOTOMPOTO?
Oh, MPOTOMPOTO is just a food that you can cook easily.
Let me crack you up. My grandma has this joke she tells that if you don't want your husband to go out, just cook MPOTOMPOTO for him. By the time it gets cold, he'll be tired after eating. He'll just
and you know that when you're cooking it, it's not like you're cooking the stew separate and doing the cocoyam or yam separate.
Right.
Everything is boxed in. And you realize that we put the onion in, the tomato, everything is boiling. So all the nutrients, nothing is thrown away. Everything is in, and it's very healthy.
Right.
So, I mean, that is all we know about it. And it's quick. It's easy to prepare.
Yeah. And it's a one-pot dish. So it might look like we are doing a lot of talking, but then the cooking is basically
the moment it is done, it means we are done.
But then I see some stock cubes and...
Yeah, this is a cube. Well, for the young ladies, the Jay-Z generation, they want to do everything with style.
Yeah.
So they want to add some cube.
Right.
But we, in our time, will use the fish powder or the shrimp powder. Because
and both of them never hurt anybody.
Yeah, and we have the tomato. We know it's vegetable. That is very healthy. We all need it. Even men need it more. It helps their posture.
Tell me about that.
Oh yeah. So if you're a man and you're watching, you can eat the tomato.
I wish you guys can see the smiles on the crew guys' faces.
And these are herrings and salmon.
Yeah.
And also we know that health-wise, herrings are very good. They are very dry, and the salmon too is very healthy. And as for the tilapia, the Kobe, we all know Kobe is just tilapia.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we have hyped it so much that it's become so expensive. And the beef, all these things, they just add flavor to it.
The umami flavor I spoke about. Our food is boiling now.
It's boiling, but it's not done yet.
Okay.
So let's wait for a while. The tomato, the pepper would be more cooked so that it's easy to grind.
Right, right. This is a conversation I've had with other people, but does your choice of equipment influence the taste of your food? I'm talking about asanka instead of blender.
Yeah, you know, this pot is asanka. You know, in the olden days, when there are issues and we come together as a family and we settle our disputes, we cook and we put it in this pot.
Right.
It's made from the earth. And when we all eat from it, my hand will hit yours. And sa, ak, and sa. Right? my hand has touched yours. So even if we have an issue, we have a problem, we believe that once we are eating together and my hand touches yours, we have settled.
Right.
So the real name is Ensa Kansa. Ensa. Aka Nsa. Then it became
Asanka. It's just clicking.
So Ensa Aka Nsa.
Okay.
So when you use this, it's very natural.
Yeah.
There's no metals.
Yeah.
There's nothing. This is wood. We even chew stick. We have chewing stick that we chew. So this is made out of wood, and it wouldn't affect you in any way. This is made out of earth.
Yeah.
It wouldn't affect you in any way. This is also made out of wood. Unlike the blender that we are going to use electricity and all that, and it's going to affect us.
Right. So whilst we wait for the food to boil, let's take a quick turn. When we come back, Adjoa Nhyira is still here. We've not heard the spooky stories because I'm trying to dodge them, but then it's going to happen. So let's take a quick turn. When we come back, we'll continue. Right, thank you very much for staying. As I always say, thank you for agreeing and just deciding to spend your Saturday afternoon with us. We don't take it for granted. You are still watching Cook Africa, and the show is brought to you by Gino Tomato Mix. Now, food lovers, kitchen warriors, get in here and let me let you in on a little secret. You know, one of the ingredients that can make your stews and soups taste great? If you guess Gino Tomato Mix, you are right. It is thick, it is red, it is rich, just the way you like it. Gino Tomato Mix is your go-to for that unique blend of tomato concentrate, fiber, and essential vitamins that makes every meal pop with flavor and color. And just in case you are confused, this is what I'm talking about. And guess what? It is enriched with vitamin A, I'm not done. Vitamin D3, I'm not done. Fiber, I'm not done. Zinc, all in one. So treating your family to a tasty and delicious meal with Gino Tomato Mix, you can never go wrong. It gives your food and meals that deep red appeal, rich texture, and mouth-watering goodness. So go on, make your next meal unforgettable with thick, red, rich Gino Tomato Mix. Gino, we say, is truly cares for you. Gino truly cares for you. And if you think I'm done, I'm not done. I'm putting you onto another product, which is Gino Jollof Mix. Gino Jollof Mix is a new addition to the Gino family. It brings a different flavor and taste to your jollof. It's also available in the market, so grab yours. Don't take my word for it. Go to the market, go to the supermarket, get your Gino products. Let me tell you, if you are doing your noodle stir fry, this is it. Even if you are steaming your chicken, this is it. I'm a foodie, but I know how to cook, and I'm telling you, Gino curry powder is where it is at. There are a lot of curry powders out there, but if you want that elevated flavor, Gino curry powder is where you have to be. So don't say I didn't do anything for you. I put you on something good. Don't take my word for it. Go to the market, get the Gino product, taste it, and I want to hear your reviews because we are on Facebook on Metro TV Ghana, and also you can find me on all social media platforms at Ethel Poplampa. Adjoa Nhyira. Yeah. Sorry, let me not reduce the steez.
You can reduce.
Amamre Hema Adjoa Nhyira.
So where we are now,
yeah.
Let's check what is happening here.
Right.
Can I have Gino tomato?
Sure. I love that job.
So a bit of it.
Right.
Will go into, you know, because we are preparing soup.
Right.
Together with the food.
The knife?
Yeah. So we are not using much because the MPOTOMPOTO is not much. You know, the way they have done the Gino, it's very easy to squeeze.
Right.
And you can also preserve the rest.
Right.
If you can't use everything, you can still seal it and put it in your fridge.
Or you can eat it. It's one of the things I do.
Okay, so now I told you it's in MPOTOMPOTO, so everything is poto.
Yeah.
You don't really have a plan for it. So we mash everything and put everything together in one bowl.
Right.
So our food is almost done.
Mm-hmm. But then, whilst the food is almost done, behind the scenes, before we started shooting, we were talking about handling of cups in the
way
Akan culture.
Oh, as for the Akan culture, we do it well. But children of today have changed the way they do it. We are getting there.
Right.
We are getting there. Can I have the palm oil?
Sure.
Just a wee bit, because we don't need much.
Right.
We are just going to use something very little so that we can make it look. So we've put our palm oil in.
Yeah.
So now we are waiting. You know, with the people in the Equiapem, those who call it nyoma, you know there's a little water in it. So they would have poured it out separately, put it aside, so that when the MPOTOMPOTO itself is done, then when they dish, they will fetch some of the soup and put it aside. But we are not doing their kind.
Okay.
So we are waiting for it to simmer a bit, because it's a bit watery. So we want the water to go down a bit. It's almost done. We need it to soften a bit, then we are good to go.
Do I have to lower the fire for
No,
it?
we rather have to increase, because we want the water to.
So we're talking about the proper way of handling cups. But then let's move away from that and let's talk more about culture, tradition. What would you want us to know as young people coming up? Because as I mentioned in your introduction, your portfolio runs very wide. But then I see you at festivals, I see you at installation of kings. What is one tradition that you think we are leaving behind?
Okay. When it comes to our culture and tradition, we need to have an identity. It's unfortunate that Ghanaians, I cannot say Africans, because Nigerians are not moving away from their culture. You realize that even when Nigerians are acting their movies, there's a lot of display of their culture. And when we talk about culture, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
What we eat, what we wear, our dance, our language. Nigerians can act a movie in English, but it will be unheard of that a Nigerian will act a movie and not say tafiakwa. You know the way they do it.
Or
Mbano, the way they will do it with passion. But where is ours? We are not doing it.
Right.
And one thing that we should know, that is the culture that gives you an identity. So if we go away from our culture and despise our culture, we don't have an identity. What names are we giving our children? We can't even name our children properly. Everybody is called Nhyira. Everybody is called Aseda. Is Aseda a name? Aseda is not a name.
Shots fired.
You need to have an identity. It is what gives you an identity. Kwame Bonsu, Yao Pepra, Adjoa Nhyira. You know, those are the names that gives us an identity. And that would prove where you are coming from. You know, when you know, people don't even know their clans, they don't know their symbols, they don't know the totems, they don't know the greeting, they don't understand anything about their culture. And you see us in church praying. What are we praying about?
I hear you on the bit of your culture as your identity. But also let me play the devil's advocate and say, what happens to the fusion of cultures? You say Asida is not a name, but then, okay, let's take outfits. Kaba and Sleet, Wetutu Ntama. Is it bad if instead of Kaba and Sleet, I use my African print to sew a contemporary outfit?
So how do you prove your identity? You are Ghanaian, right?
Yeah.
You are aware?
Yeah.
Okay. So we see people marrying today.
Yeah.
And they said, it's my traditional marriage. I want to do the traditional outfit.
Yeah.
And Ewe does not put the cloth like this as a young woman, right?
Yeah.
A Fanti doesn't wear the cloth like this. It's Ashantis who wear their cloth like this. So if I'm a Fanti and I'm doing traditional marriage, I need to first know that I have to wear tekua.
Yeah.
That is the Fanti and the coastal hairstyle, traditionally. That is one.
Yeah.
How do I wear my kente? The way I wear my kente will prove that I'm a Fanti, I'm a Ga, I'm a Northerner, I'm this, I'm that. But we are all doing it because we don't even understand it. Because our parents themselves have despised their culture in the name of religion. But even when you go to the Bible, they believe in their cultures and we're following their culture.
Yeah.
So if I'm an Ewe and I am doing something tradition, I need to wear my kente with lace on top.
Yeah, lace.
Ewes don't wear cloth without a jumper, even the men. And the women don't wear kente without the lace. So anything devoid of that, it is not an identity. Exactly. It is not an identity. I need to wear the kente with my lace top. We call it buba. The Fantis call it buba. And even when you go into the Fanti side, that is how they wear it. If I'm a young woman and I am not educated and I'm getting married, they put 6 pieces, one down, they put one here, they'll put one here, then they'll wear the tekua for you, then they'll put some marks on your body. And when you're coming, I don't need somebody to tell me that this is a Fanti.
Right.
So those are the things we are talking about. We don't even know the clans we belong. Remember that if you know your clan and you know your clan totem, when you go to a gathering, even when you travel to a place and you are lost, you have no family there. When you go to any function,
I think we should check.
Yeah, when you go to a function and you see your, you can lower it now.
Okay.
And you see your family clan symbol,
Right.
quickly, when you go there, they will accept you and embrace you. And
I
any
don't
help
want anybody
you need,
dragging me on social media that I'm dodging the fire. Safety. Should I lower it now?
lower it. So you realize that I'll quickly get help,
Yeah.
right? Because I know my clan. For instance, my mother is an Asuna, and I know their symbol. So if I travel to a place and I'm lost, I have nobody. Even in the olden days, when you travel and you get to a place and you can't find a place to sleep, the first thing you ask is, Asuna for waha, na Asuna for busia fiwe. The moment you get there and you said, oh, I am an Asuna, quickly you'll be giving assistance. But we don't know it. We are living as we can't even speak our language with our children.
Yeah.
So how will our children have an identity? So we are almost done. The MPOTOMPOTO is done.
Yeah. Are you going to serve it in that sanka or you want a plate?
Anything.
Okay,
We
so
can
let me
serve
clean
it
that sanka for you.
anywhere. But we can let it simmer a bit.
Right.
Or we can serve it like this.
Okay. But then, once again, let me play the devil's advocate again and ask that, whilst you speak so passionately about the identity, our culture being our identity and everything, is there no room for a little assimilation when it comes to the Western world or modernization?
We are not saying, but you see, what we have in the Western world, we don't have it here.
Right.
In as much as we want to assimilate it,
Yeah.
how are we doing it? Are we doing it to benefit us or we are doing it to benefit them?
Right.
They have, because of their weather, they have what they wear.
Yeah.
But in a hot afternoon, you can see somebody wearing a woolen trousers.
Right.
Meanwhile, where we are not in the cold. And God in his wisdom has given us what will help us. So why are we shying away from it and not accepting it? That is where we have found ourselves.
Right.
That is where we have found ourselves. And you know, the sad thing is, the same people we want to assimilate, they come here and they want to learn what we have and they have adapted it.
Right. Whilst we are coming to the end of the cooking, the stock cube, everything, or your seasoning is just perfect.
Come again?
The stock cube, the herring fish.
Everything.
Are we going to add it?
No,
or?
I've added some of the powdered ginger or shrimp already. So I put everything on before I added water for it to boil.
Right.
So everything is gone in.
Right.
You realize that I told you I was not going to add salt because the cube is a bit salty.
Right.
Everything is salty. So now we are not adding any more salt.
Right.
So we are good to go.
Right.
So now we can pour it.
We can plate it. I think we should plate on a flat plate so our viewers can see
Okay.
exactly what. So I'll just move this here. Then I'll clean my Gino plate and then we serve it in here. So we good? It looks so good.
And you move this. So MPOTOMPOTO is very simple.
Yeah.
It's very easy to prepare. And you realize that even if you have a baby, like I said from the beginning, and you want to win the baby, you know, the stock is already mixed. You can just pick it.
Yeah.
Even an old woman who is toothless can even enjoy it. So it's good for everybody, from young to old.
It's interesting
Everybody
how you are
can
trying
enjoy
to,
it.
You are trying to draw my attention to the food and I'm already getting the spoon ready. Shows you how excited I am about the food. But then before we go into the tasting and every other thing, let's go for a quick turn. When we come back, then we taste the food. Don't go in. Thank you for staying and thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us here. We don't take it for granted, as I always say. Before the break, Amamre Hema Adjoa Nhyira just finished cooking, plating her food, and we are about to taste it. And trust me, I don't have filter, so I'll tell you whether it tastes nice or not. But before we get into the tasting, take us through the ingredients one more time.
Okay, so we use cocoyam, we use herrings, we use salmon, we use beef, we use kobe, momone. It's just like you're preparing the normal light soup.
Yeah.
And with the tomato, onion, ginger, garlic, we boiled some and we also mashed some and put it on. And when it boiled for a while, we had to mash it and put it in. Then we added some Gino tomato mix, the small one.
Yeah, the sachet one.
So we added a bit of this. And like I said, it's in MPOTOMPOTO. You just mashed everything and put it. It's all in one pot. And we didn't do the MPO one. MPO one would have poured the stock on the side.
Right.
But we added everything. Then finally we added palm oil. We also added powdered shrimp to give it taste and a bit of cube for the Jay-Z people. Right. So basically this is MPOTOMPOTO. Like I said, Fantis call it MPOTOMPOTO.
Yeah.
Then I can call it POTOMPOTO. The guys call it poto, right? Then the people up the hill, they call it nyoma.
I think the Ewes call it dablu.
Dablu, okay.
Like dablu, just as the name, ode obuli.
Okay, net there, net bully. Okay, so I don't know where you're watching from and how you also prepare it and how you call it, but I believe the preparation is the same.
Yeah, very
but
simple.
We have various names.
And just as you mentioned, some people put the stock, which is the lice by the side.
No, after everything is done, they pour the stock on the side and mash the either yam or cocoyam itself and add the palm oil. And
that is what I am used to.
Okay,
that's what
like
I
the
do.
Yoma.
Yeah, because I grew up on the mountains.
Okay, so that's why they call it nyoma.
So I'm looking forward to taste this. But let me remind you that the show is brought to you by Gino tomato mix. So food lovers, kitchen warriors, let me let you in on a little kitchen secret. You know, one of the ingredients that can make your stews and soups taste great? If you get Gino tomato mix, you're right. It is thick, it is red, it is rich, just the way you like it. Gino tomato mix is your go-to for that unique blend of tomato concentrate, fiber, and essential vitamins that makes every meal pop with flavor and color. And guess what? It is enriched with a lot of vitamins, including vitamin A, vitamin D3, fiber, and zinc, treating your family to tasty and delicious meals. With Gino tomato mix, you can never go wrong. It gives your meals that deep red appeal, rich texture, mouth-watering goodness every single time. So go on, make your next meal unforgettable with a thick, red, rich Gino tomato mix, because we say Gino truly cares. I'm not done. Gino Jollof Mix is a new addition to the Gino family. It adds a different flavor and taste to your jollof. It's available at all markets. So try the new Gino Jollof Mix for your signature jollof. If you have any jollof competition anywhere and the Nigerians want to show you anything, just go with the Gino Jollof Mix. And trust me, if you don't win, come and call me. We'll go and debate it. But this advert is approved by FDA. So let's welcome Nana Deborah to come and help us taste. Yes, waiting for you. If you don't like it, say it.
So get to the menu.
Wow.
So Nana Deborah, before you eat our food, tell us who you are.
Oh,
Tell us who you are. You cannot come and eat our food just like that.
okay. I'm the commercial manager for the Ignite Media Group,
Right.
Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM.
So for anything advertisement, commercial, here's the man you have to go to. So
One,
Nana,
2, 3, pay. Let's go.
I'll let you take the lead because
no, we want to hear your opinion. Don't forget to blow.
I'll finish.
We'll go. It has a lot of flavors.
I think I wasn't part of the planning, but it looks like you did that for me. I like a lot of pepper. Everything. I think the shrimps. You know, I was raised up by my grandmother,
Okay.
and this was a delicacy.
It's true.
Anytime she tells you today, Kojo mibuada,
It means it's important.
mibuada, it means MPOTOMPOTO.
And they should eat.
Keep talking.
So,
I like it.
I said,
But I think we have to commercialize it.
I think some chop
Yeah.
bars sell in Pontopo.
We have
No,
to.
we
We
don't
have
do
to.
it.
We have to.
Why?
commercialize
I don't know
it
why,
because it's nice.
but maybe people have a perception that MPOTOMPOTO and
Take that.
apapransa is the food
You are
for
visitor
witches.
on my set. Relax.
It's food for witches because of the palm oil that is used, and we didn't even put a lot of palm oil.
Yeah.
It's always red, so people have that perception. But when you go to parties or buffets and it's being said, you realize that everybody wants to try
Yeah.
it because people don't even do it in their homes.
Right.
And like I said, modernization. We don't think about these ones that are healthy for our children. When we are weaning our children, what do we give them? But this is the best for weaning your children.
We need to pack the rest for me.
You see? Person when me I invite, you want to. You are not part of the plan.
Last one.
Don't take plenty, small. Thank you.
Hey, yes, I'm heading.
Thank you very much for coming.
I think you have to be inviting me
No,
all the time.
today is your last day.
So, inviting me all the time.
Okay, maybe we'll
And,
invite you next time when we come to do a proper answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I like you.
It's 100/10. I really liked it. Even another bra carried the plate away. But before we let you go, you've impacted us with a lot of knowledge. We've had the opportunity to share a bit of your life history with us, which we don't take for granted. I promised I was going to ask you one question that I didn't ask you. The color of your hair.
Okay. I had grey very early.
Okay.
And there was this doctor at Club Road Clinic.
Okay.
It was on the high street.
For people who don't know the color of your
hair,
I
used to work with KPMG.
Can we see it?
Yes, I'll show it to you. I used to work with KPMG.
Right.
And that was the clinic that we attend. So one day when I went there, Dr. Brookman Emisa, she had this hair. And I was like, this woman is wearing blue hair. What sort of blue hair is that? But little did I know that when we were growing, you know, I had grey very early when I was young. So I had a lot of grey early. But seeing that, I felt that, can I also do this? Because I have never dyed my hair.
Right.
And my dye is my secret. Actually, people ask me what I use for my hair. If I want to tell you, you'll be surprised. So I don't talk about it. It's not the normal dye that people see. I have never dyed my hair, but I have a lot of grey. So I decided, okay, I want my hair to look good so that even when I decide to leave it, I don't mess up with my hair.
Right.
So I decided that, oh, okay. So I tried something. It's very common on the market. And I realized that it was okay with my hair. I tried dyeing it, but the dye could not pick my hair.
Right.
So that secret, I started using it.
Right.
So that is how come I have the green,
and it's beautiful.
the purple hair. So I've worn this for over 20 years.
And I think it blends in with your identity. You can't say, I'm Adjoa Nhyira, I not see the hair.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that I wear purple hair.
Yeah, and it's very beautiful. Before I let you go, our friends at Gino thought you were amazing and said we should part.
Oh, Ethel, thank you so much. So you can have this once you want to see my hair.
Yes.
I want to say a very big thank you to Cook Africa.
Right.
And also a very big thank you to one person in my life.
Right.
Who motivates me, encourages me in everything I do. He's the CEO of Kofi Chrome Pharmacy.
Right.
Dr. Kofi Adjoa Nhyira. I want to say a very big thank you to him because he's been very instrumental in my career.
Right.
And he keeps pushing me on, motivating and encouraging me. So, Doc, thank you so much. Thank you, Ethel. Thank you, Cook Africa. Right. Thank you to your production team.
And
thank you, everybody.
So, thank you to GB Foods. Thank you for Gino Tomato Mix for sponsoring the show. And thank you to you at home who decided to spend your afternoon with us. We'll see you next week.